Hello students. So today we are going to start with a new chapter, vectors. Vectors is the most important chapter in physics. Without knowing the concepts of vector, you cannot study 12th standard physics or 11th standard also. Yes, it has been known as zero chapter also, the basic chapter of physics, vectors, right? See, today we'll just discuss the introduction of vectors. What are vector quantities? What are scalar quantities? Why do we need vectors? How they are been added? How they are subtracted? How many types of vectors are there? So this is all we are going to discuss today. Yes, of course, in your lower standards you must have studied about scalar and vectors, right? Scalar quantities means those quantities which require only the magnitude for their description, right? We don't need any direction for the description, only their magnitudes are sufficient. That means quantities which requires only magnitude are known as scalar quantities, like mass, length. Whenever we are discussing about mass, length, time, will not specify the direction. Direction is not at all required. We cannot even specify their direction. While talking about time, about the value, about the unit of time, we'll never say anything related to direction. Right? Suppose mass of one object is given as 5 kilogram, another object is given as 7 kilogram. You have to calculate the total mass. Then there is no point of asking in which direction. Right? They can be added up directly. 12 kilogram. Similarly, length. Right? These are just few examples of scalar quantities. There are many scalar quantities. Means once again, scalar quantities means those quantities which will require only the magnitude for its description. They are known as scalar quantities. Mass, length, time, speed, work, energy, power, etc., etc., etc. So these are the quantities which requires only the magnitude. But apart from the scalar quantities, there are vector quantities also. Now what are vector quantities, right? And how to add the vector quantities, why we need to study vectors. Okay, see, we'll discuss it with the help of example. Suppose you are being told anything. Suppose you are being told to buy an ice cream which is say 2 kilometers from your home. Right? Suppose your cousins are saying you to bring ice cream for them, and the ice cream shop is 2 kilometers from your home. This is what the cousin says, right? So the question that arises is, you will definitely ask them 2 kilometers in which direction? 2 kilometers in which direction? Because without direction, only knowing that you need to travel 2 kilometers will not be sufficient, because 2 kilometers can be in this direction, in this direction, in this, any of the direction, right? So that is not the complete information, right? If you are showing address to any of the unknown person, right, then you will say that this way 2 kilometers, then turn right side or turn left side. So you are, along with the magnitude, you are specifying the direction. So these are the quantities which requires both the magnitude and direction to get the complete information, to get the complete description. These quantities are known as vector quantities. You are getting the point, right? Whenever we have been showing address to any of the unknown person, right, we'll specify both the things. We'll say them that yes, this particular address is 3 kilometers, but first 1 kilometer you go straight, then again 2 kilometers, turn right and then go straight. So you are, along with the magnitude, you are showing them the direction also. Only then they will be able to reach the place, right? So there are certain quantities which will require both magnitude and direction. Those are included in vector quantities, right? Force, acceleration, velocity, momentum, etc., etc. These are the quantities which requires both the magnitude as well as direction for their complete description. Clear? Clear? Suppose, see, we'll clear it with many examples. Suppose there is a mass m lying on the surface of the earth. Now, I am writing or I am saying that to move this mass upwards, we need a force of say 5 Newton. Phi is the magnitude. Phi is the magnitude. So you want to move the mass in upward direction. So 5 Newton needs to be applied this way. You have to apply this 5 Newton in this direction. Right? If you want this mass to move in upward direction, you will never apply the force in this direction or in this direction. No. You have been told to move this mass, or you have been told to take this mass in upward direction, then you need to apply the force in upward direction. Right? If I am saying that move this mass towards right, then a force should be applied this way. Clear? So of course direction is very important. Right? The second thing, that means we have basically understood the difference between scalar and vector. Scalar means those quantities which do not need any direction, and vector quantities which need both magnitude as well as direction. If I am saying that apply a force on another body, apply a force of 10 Newton on another body in order to move the body. But this is not the complete information. We need to specify that apply a force of 10 Newton in this direction, so body will be able to move in this direction. Right? Suppose if I am standing over here, right, a force of 20 Newton is applied on me, and because of that I have just fallen in this direction. So one thing is obvious, that the force must be in this direction. So the thing which we need to understand is, there are certain quantities which need both the magnitude and direction to get its complete description. Those are included in vector quantity. Secondly, vector quantities are not added directly. We cannot add vector quantities directly. Just as we have been added the mass. We have added these two masses, 5 kg plus 7 kg, that is 12 kg. But if this is 5 Newton in x direction, and this is 7 Newton in y direction, right? So now these two are forces, one is along x, one is along y. This will not be added up to give 12 Newton, no. That means simple algebraic laws, vectors will not obey. We cannot add two vectors directly if they are not in the same direction, right? If a person is applying a force on me of 5 Newton, another person is applying a force of 5 Newton in this direction. He is applying in this direction, he is applying in this direction. I am neither going to move in this direction, nor I will be moving in this direction. Right? That means I will be moving in some another direction, and with not a force of 10 Newton or 5 Newton. So make it very clear. See, a force of 5 Newton is applied on me in this direction. This a person is standing here, he is stretching me over there. He tries to take me along with him with a force of 5 Newton. He is applying a force of 5 Newton in this direction. Another person is applying a force of 5 Newton on me in this direction. So one force is in this direction, another force is in this direction. Right? They both are applying force on me simultaneously. I am not going to move in this direction, nor I am going to be in this direction. And I cannot say that a force of 10 Newton is applied on me in this direction, or a force of 10 Newton is applied on me in this direction. That means just as we have added the masses, we cannot add this force. Right? We cannot add 5 plus 5. No. That is not obeyed by vectors, and that is why we are going to understand this chapter. That is why this chapter is given to how to add to vector quantities. Right. So these are the examples which are very practical, and we all know this, that two forces which are not in the same direction are not added up directly. So how these two are not added because they are vector quantities. And now how to add this vector quantities? How these forces will be added up, and in which direction will I be able to move? Right. So for that we need to study vectors. Clear? Clear? Okay. One more thing. Apart from this scalar and vectors, there are certain quantities whose direction is fixed, whose direction is always fixed. They are having the direction, but the direction is fixed. Let us take an example of electric current. Say, we know that electric current flows from positive to negative terminal of the battery, right? A resistor or battery current will be flowing from plus to minus, right? Okay. So see, current is having the direction. The direction of flow of electric current is from positive to negative. Positive to negative. Pressure is force by area. Pressure is force by area. So this quantity is like suppose current. Current is from plus to minus. Current is from plus to minus. So current is having the direction, but still current is included in scalar. It is not included in vector. Pressure is force by area. Force is a vector quantity, but pressure is still a scalar quantity. That means there are certain quantities whose direction is always fixed. Direction is always fixed. Those quantities are included in scalar quantities. That means current will always flow from higher to lower potential, that is fixed. It will always flow from positive terminal of the battery to negative terminal of the battery. That means the direction of electric current is always fixed. So it is included in scalar quantities. Right? Pressure is force which needs to be applied perpendicular to the area. This is compulsory. Force needs to be applied perpendicular to this surface. So the direction of force is always fixed. It should be perpendicular to the surface. Only then we can say that pressure is exerted on that surface. Right? That is why pressure is also a scalar quantity. Surface tension is also a scalar quantity. You will be learning it in your further chapters. Right? So there are certain quantities which have direction, but yet they are not vectors. Right? They can be treated as scalar. Okay, so now we have understood that what is a scalar quantity, what is a vector quantity, why we need vectors, right? And there are quantities which have direction, but they are included in scalar quantities. Fine. Now how to represent a vector? How to represent a vector? So basically, to understand, to add, subtract two vector quantities will follow certain rules, but before that we'll discuss few basic definitions and we'll see the representation of a vector. Vector can be represented with the arrow, with this arrow. This is how many vector quantity is represented, right? This is known as tail of the vector, tail. This is known as head of the vector, head, tail. Suppose you are being told to represent force 5 Newton, then F, this is the symbol to represent a vector 5 Newton. Head should be in the direction in which actually the phenomena is taking place. Effect is produced. Suppose a force of 5 Newton is applied in this direction, then we'll draw this way, right? So the direction of force is this. So effect of the thing is in this direction. So head will be always in the direction in which the effect is prevailing, right? A train is moving from say east to west, right, with a velocity of 50 km per hour. Train is moving from east to west with a velocity of 50 km per hour. So velocity, so we'll draw the vector this way. This way, east to west. So train is moving towards west. So effect is in west direction. So head needs to be placed in the west direction and tail will be in east direction. This is how we will represent a vector. Clear? This will be the head, this will be the tail. Yes, the length of the vector represents the magnitude of the vector. Length represents the magnitude of the vector. That means suppose see, we'll take this example. A train is moving from east to west with a velocity of 50 km per hour, and another, this is east to west, and another train is moving with a velocity of say 70 km per hour west to east. Into parallel tracks, one train is moving from east to west with 50 km per hour and another is moving with 70 km per hour. Vector is represented by this symbol. This is known as head, this is known as tail, and the length of this vector represents a magnitude. Say now we have been told to represent this velocity vector. So 50 is known as magnitude of the vector. Value 50 is the magnitude, the value. East to west, train is moving from east to west. East to west represents the direction. So train is actually moving towards west. So a velocity will be velocity vector. This is how we will show it. This is tail. Train is moving towards west. So head will be in the direction in which the effect is prevailing. So train is moving towards west this way. And this will be 50 km per hour. This way. Its length will be 50. Length will be 50 km. Now I know it is not practically possible to draw this bigger length, 50 km. So we'll take the scale. I mean, in the lower classes you must have drawn this way. You must have done this way. 1 centimeter is 10 km. 1 centimeter is 10 km. So we want this as 50 km, right? 50 km. So we'll draw 5 centimeter this way. So this will be 50 km towards west. So arrow will be this way. Clear? This is how a vector is represented, right? You need to put the head of the vector in the direction in which the effect is actually prevailing, and the length of this vector represents the magnitude, right? Okay, and in this case it is 70 km from west to east. So now this should be in this direction towards east. So this is east, this is west. This will be 70 km. So for us 1 centimeter is 10 km. So I'll draw a line of 7 centimeter this way, 7 centimeters somewhere this way. This is how we'll represent a vector quantity. Clear? Clear? And mathematically vector can be represented as vector A, vector B, any force, velocity, acceleration. This is how we'll represent a vector. Magnitude of a vector is represented this way or simply this way. Modulus of A or simply A. That means we are just talking about the value and we are not talking about the direction. Magnitude means only the value of the vector, right? Done? Okay, so this is how a vector is represented. So far we have discussed about scalar quantity, vectors quantity, few quantities which are having direction but are included in scalar. How to represent a vector? A vector can be represented by a arrow. Head represents the effect, where actually head represents the effect, right? And it should be in the direction where actually the effect is prevailing. Head should be pointed in this way. Length of the vector represents the magnitude of the vector. Okay, fine. Now we'll discuss the types of vectors. We'll discuss the types of vectors. There are many types of vectors. Equal vectors, parallel vectors, anti-parallel vector, co-initial vector, co-linear vector, co-planar, concurrent vectors, polar vectors, etc., etc., etc. Right? Fine, we will discuss few vectors just now and further we will discuss the remaining vectors. Right? Okay. So, equal vectors. Equal vectors means two vectors having same magnitude and same direction. Two vectors having same magnitude and same direction. This is how. Their magnitudes are equal, the directions are also equal. These are known as equal vectors. Clear? Fine. The second one. Parallel vectors. Parallel vectors means two vectors having same direction. Their magnitudes need not to be equal. If they are equal, good. If they are not equal, then also they are known as parallel vectors. Right? All equal vectors are parallel. See? But all parallel vectors need not to be equal. That means if two vectors having 0 degree, the angle between two vectors, if it is 0 degree, they are known as parallel vectors. Right? Okay. Anti-parallel vectors. If two vectors are in opposite direction, that means the angle between them is 180 degree. These are known as anti-parallel vectors. Co-initial vectors. Co-initial vectors means vectors having the same starting point. Same starting point. That means if one vector is in this direction, another vector is in this direction. These are known as co-initial vectors. Similarly, co-linear vectors. Vectors, if they are in the same line, that means the angle between them can be, theta can be 0 degree or 180 degree. These are known as collinear vectors. If two vectors are this way or this way, these are known as collinear vectors. Clear? That means the angle between two vectors can be 0 or 180. Then coplanar vectors. Coplanar means vectors in the same plane. Two vectors will always be coplanar, right? That means if two vectors or more than two vectors, if they are vectors in the same plane, are known as coplanar vectors. Two vectors will always be coplanar. Clear? Still there are different types of vectors. One is polar vector, null vector, unit vector, axial vector, and so on, many vectors. We'll discuss all the vectors in the next videos. So these are the few basic types of vectors. Equal vectors means having the same value and direction. Parallel means the angle between them is 0 degree. That means they are in same direction. Here they are in opposite direction. The starting point, if the starting point of two vectors are same, co-initial vectors, collinear vectors means either the angle between them is 0 degree or 180. They are collinear vectors, right? Coplanar, that means vectors lying in the same plane, right? Okay. These are the few vectors which we will be discussing in the further videos, right? Okay, fine. So this was the introduction. In this video, we had covered the introduction of vectors, why vector is needed, what is a vector quantity, what is a scalar quantity, right? Why few quantities, even though having direction, are treated as scalar, types of vectors, and how to represent a vector. These are the things which we have discussed in this video. Fine. So now in the next video, we'll discuss about multiplication of vector with a scalar and addition and subtraction of two vectors. How two vectors can be added up and how two vectors can be subtracted. Okay.